Welcome back inside Delmarva Sports Insider. Now, Jeff, what was this week, man? What was this week of going to the Major League Baseball All-Star festivities, the Home Run Derby on Monday that we attended, and then the All-Star game, man, had to be a special time for you. It was definitely a special time for me.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about some of these events. I know you never had been to an All-Star game before. Of course, it was my first MLB All-Star game, and All-Star game in general in professional sports, but it was special.
Yeah.
And you remember we were sitting there, we were watching, we're getting ready, getting our camera equipment ready, and we're sitting there and we said, okay, Kyle Schwarber, the Cubs, he's going to win it. Bryce Harper, he's not going to be able to pull this one out.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, he hit one. And then he hit two.
Yes, that was a historic. That was really cool to be there. And when we see that replay over and over, just knowing for a fact that we were actually there. If you remember, we were sitting downstairs.
Yeah.
And we thought that we weren't going to have to go in and get sound for Bryce Harper. And
we were planning our next steps, not including speaking to Bryce Harper.
And then what do you know?
Didn't happen.
Exactly right. And then just simply amazing. Reese Hoskins.
He put on a show.
He did put on a show.
City of Brotherly Love.
Amazing being around these guys. Some huge guys. Freddie Freeman also in the Home Run Derby. That guy is amazing.
24 years old.
Not just because of the performance of his first half, but what he did in the All-Star game, amazing as well. Seeing Aroldis Chapman. Heck,
Very cool. Look at Jose Altuve, the AL MVP.
When we got off of the elevator, first person we saw, Dave Roberts, just chilling out there. Super cool moments, man, that you get going to see these things.
We saw Manny in a nose uniform.
Exactly right. And speaking of a guy like Manny Machado, we already know what the next step is for him. The writing was on the wall, and after so much skepticism over the past week, it's officially official. Shortstop Manny Machado represented the Orioles for a final time at that All-Star game. The 26-year-old who rose from a Delmarva Shorebird to one of the best players in baseball on the move. During All-Star week, it was very unclear where he would end up, but it looks like Los Angeles is definitely that destination. The Dodgers were in need of a shortstop after the season-ending injury to Corey Seager, and Machado looks to be a half-season rental, so it's very possible that he will be somewhere else to start next year. At the All-Star game, 47 ABC was in the AL clubhouse when Machado briefly spoke to reporters about his last time donning that orange O.
Every time you put on an Oriole uniform, it's always a great blessing. And, you always want the opportunity to put that on. It's the only good jersey I've ever put on. So to put it on there, go play shortstop there, get my name announced. I know there's going to be some Baltimore fans out there, so I'm really looking forward to it.
So the question now, Trey, is who exactly did the Orioles get in return for, the superstar Manny Machado? Basically a 5-for-1 trade with L.A. Outfielder Yusniel Diaz is the big get in this one. That's a name you're going to want to remember. Yeah, the number 37 prospect in all of baseball, coming off a 2-home run performance in the Futures game this week. So a big get for Baltimore there in Diaz. Now also included in the trade, right-handed pitcher Dean Kremer, third baseman Ryan Bannon, relief pitcher Zach Pop, and another third baseman Breivik Valera. Now it's very possible that one, if not more of these guys and all these players, we're going to see them, maybe on the Shorebirds roster, possibly in the future.
Now those names are very interesting, as we said, because Diaz, we know, is the star get. And as you said, he had 2 home runs in that Futures game. I really think the Orioles were really putting a lot into this guy being a superstar, hence what you get. The rest of the guys, not so impressive, but I'm not a Major League Baseball GM. So I guess we got to trust what's going on there. But I can't really say that I fully understand what Dan Duquette is hard, and it's really hard to figure out as well because who knows who's going to have jobs by the time this Baltimore Orioles season is done. I mean, they are on a record-setting pace.
41 games
for being bad.
Out of first place.
For being bad. They're on a record-setting pace. And I think, what did we just hear a couple minutes ago? They're only 20-some games from being eliminated
23
already.
Games or so.
These guys are going to be eliminated before August starts.
And the crazy thing about this, too, is that, with rebuilding and the process that it takes, usually in baseball, it requires your farm system to be pretty stacked and to be pretty strong. Of course, we saw Manny Machado brought up through, the Orioles farm system, of course, with the Shorebirds about 6 years ago or so. So that's kind of how it works out. Now they have all these prospects. We could be talking about the Orioles clinching the AL East 4 years from now.
Yeah. I don't know. That's really, that's exactly
Trying to
true.
think positively.
But it's
you know
really
what I mean?
hard
Look
to
at the positive end of things.
It's really hard to see that with the state that the team is in right now. And as we know, like I said, who knows who's going to have jobs? I know Peter Angelos has a lot to sort out as owner. Is he going to keep the GM? I don't think the GM will be retained. Is Buck Showalter still going to be there? I don't think he is. Also think Adam Jones and Zach Britton may be on the way with some moves as well. So we'll have to see what else they can get in that farm system. Those guys, however, are already at Bowie. That's the word, is that those guys are going to the Bowie Bay Sox. So we just missed out on them at the Shorebirds. It really would have been cool to see Diaz playing for the Shorebirds, but he's tearing it up in Double-A right now.
And that's a name you mentioned right there, Zach Britton. A lot of talk actually happening today about where he's going to go. They say by the end of the weekend, he actually could be dealt to another team. I know the Phillies are in play, so he might stay regionally. You see the smile coming on my face. It's coming up a little bit.
I knew you were going Phillies when I saw you light up a little bit.
We saw Britton. I mean, I love Philadelphia. It is what it is. But
exactly right, man.
We're going to hold those thoughts now. It's time for our final commercial break, but coming up, Trey and I, we're going to break down the week ahead as we approach, crazy to think, the end of the month of July already. Stick with us, DSI, coming right back.
My name is Chris Sanders of Pocomoke High School, and you are watching Delmarva Sports Insider.